You are tuning in to the most informed show on the internet. The Above Limits podcast is an expression of logical thought put into physical form. Subscribing to our channel is the biggest support you can give. Positive vibes and understanding found here. Olympus Mons, your host, is ready to welcome you to the show. Thank you for listening, and now, enjoy the Above Limits podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Above Limits podcast. I am Olympus Mons, your host. Such a busy week this week. Let's turn this up a little bit. Don't you love that intro? Very much a busy week this week in politics. People being censored. Time to explain a lot of things that I've been thinking about. I'm gonna try to just straight off the cuff and start ranting about what I feel is going on out there in this crazy world. I'd like to mention that the Above Limits podcast website is up at theabovelimitspodcast.com. You can see my blog that I've got going over there. Have some merchandise, cool t-shirts. My t-shirts are on their way. They've been shipped. So I'll be sporting those, and you'll be able to see me wearing those live. And when I see them, whenever I get them, I'll be taking pictures with them so I can upload to the website. Another thing with the website, we got the NWO UFO chat room on Tiny Chat that you can visit if you are like-minded like me and you want to discuss these sort of, conspiracy-minded topics. Feel free to stop over there. It's tinychat.com/NWO UFO. We have a different array of, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro being a lazy bum, pro working for what you got. It's all a mixture of different people I've known for a long time. You'll see more about it in the website, so check out the website, theabovelimits.com. You can follow me on Twitter at the Above Limits, at the Above Limits, and of course subscribe to the channel. This is something that I feel very strongly about, what's going on out there. And I feel this message needs to be heard by people. And hopefully I'll at some point in time, that'll be more likely to be happening for myself. Because I like I say, I feel passionate about the fact that the world is continually fallen victim to manipulation by people that just have more ability, more of a voice, more of ability to make things viral and trend. I mean, one thing you got to ask yourself is why is there such a thing of like people eating Tide Pods and what other challenges have there been? People snorting condoms up their nose and lighting themselves on fire. There's a machine behind this. There's people out there laughing that they have the ability to do this. All they got to do is get this person to share it, and then that person shares it, and it becomes something new, especially in this internet age that we live in, the technological age that we do live in. And I think about those things. I mean, how could you get someone to be like, oh, I'm gonna snort a condom up my nose and then pull it out of my mouth? Like, common sense would be like, hey, that doesn't sound very smart to do that. But yet, it becomes a viral sensation. People driving around to a song, and then dancing with their car, going autonomously. I mean, it just doesn't sound like like a good idea. So with that, like I say, I feel very strongly, passionately about trying to expose this manipulation that's going on in the world, because we are being manipulated. We are being fed information by the status quo. We're seeing the deplatforming of alternative media that we could say is, what I'm doing. I'm basing my ideas and my beliefs off of factual observation that I've made and deduction, and you you have people that are bigger than me, people that are probably smarter than me, that can maybe put these things into a better term, because they've been doing it for a long time, or like I said, they're just smarter than me, man. And they're being silenced. And I've had my issues with being silenced too. I can get into that later when we get to everything that happened this week on Twitter. And let's see. I'm going to manipulate some stuff here. Bring me down. Ooh, magic. Check that out. We're going to bring that down. And we'll take this away. And we'll get ready for my first video that I'd like to take a minute to talk about, because the big thing, I made a quick video earlier. I wouldn't call it a podcast this week. I just made a video because it was just breaking news. It was just something big happening out there in the world in manipulation land. It was the Bob Woodward book release, or the releasing of the book. And when you think about the book, you think about Bob Woodward being one of the main guys that took down Nixon, another president, probably the one president in our lifetime, in many people's lifetimes that are still living today, where they actually saw, the time spent investigating, and the whole investigation of Nixon, and ultimately him having to resign. And people like to play. They try to repeat history all the time. It's just like when people say Obama is Hitler, or now they say Trump is Hitler. Everything he does, it just reminds me of Hitler. I mean, okay, when the guys marching people into rail cars and setting up military blockades where you have to show papers and ovens and mass genocide, then we can say, oh well, he's close to Hitler. I mean, because let's not forget that, almost 4 million Iraqis died in the Iraq War, and the fake WMD invasion of Iraq. Supposedly that Saddam Hussein was working with Al Qaeda, and it was all a bunch of lies. I mean, we now can look back and, oh, Bush, it was bad intel, they say. But 4 million Iraqis died. I think that's more close to something that Hitler would do. I mean, we're talking women and children. I mean, it's so easy as Americans to be like, oh, well, they, that's cool. They're not us. But people died. They're no longer existing in space and time. and to be okay with that, I mean, especially off of lies. I mean, the President Bush, Dick Cheney, they're war criminals. And people want to forget history. I mean, some people are actually saying, "Well, I miss George Bush." I mean, what can you miss about him? I mean, do you remember those days when we used to sit there and talk about the atrocities that were happening in the Middle East, the women and children? I mean, getting killed. What was discovered at Abu Ghraib. What Chelsea Manning whistle blew about. I mean, the killing and all that. I mean, people like to repeat the history and say this is that and that is this, and Bob Woodward, well, he did such good work back in the day, so obviously, they get their serious voice. This is a man who has a track record of investigative journaling, and everything he says is what is it? Basically indisputable facts on nothing but a straight truth. Which, I mean, those are just statements. Oh, this is straight truth. Oh, he did this, he did that. I mean, one thing to say about the Bob Woodward is he taped the president. You know what I mean? I mean, why is everybody wanting to tape the president? His lawyer wants to tape him and kind of guide him into incriminating himself, but he really says, like, what are you talking about? Tells his lawyer, like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, we do need to figure that out. You're my attorney. Do whatever's legal. That's what attorneys do, especially in business. You have attorneys on retainer. I think he had his lawyer Cohen. Trump had his lawyer Cohen on a monthly retainer, and you have those attorneys to look over legal things. They do that. They do that to, like, say they want to implement a policy, where they if you're late more than 3 times in the company you work for, they say, well, if you're late 3 times, we're going to take $2 from your pay. But somebody who knows things, because they could get in a lot of trouble, they go to their lawyer. They go to their lawyers that they have on retainer, and they go, can we do this? And the lawyer goes, yeah, that's legal. They're supposed to. They could lose their law license if they it gets found out that they swayed you into the wrong, into criminality. I mean, that's the way the system's supposed to be, but, for our president, he can't have that. He's should be impeached, and he should be locked up. Little pussy shit. These crybaby liberals that we're dealing with. And this week, I mean, we had the release of the book, and now we have a supposed resistance starting in the Trump administration. Someone in his administration, some people say it's Mike Pence himself, the second in command. They wrote a op-ed anonymously to the New York Times. Trump calls them the failing New York Times. I don't know if they're failing or not. I don't read this shit, but I do stay current on current events, and I make sure to keep myself aware of, like, who my enemies are and who's out there, just manipulating manipulating all of us. and everybody just some people just eating it up like it's the ultimate truth, and president's going to jail and he's going to get impeached. But there's a person high in the administration that's wrote a piece, and Trump the next day he tweeted out treason ? And you have the mainstream media, the people at the top of jamming propaganda into your minds. I mean, I'm going a little off topic, but it's necessary. Do Google search on like the most important parts of the important things that are breaking in politics or news and stuff like that, and you'll, instead of like it when it used to be where it'd be like a YouTuber like me who's just ranting and trying to say his opinion, those would be at the top of relevancy. Like that's how people became YouTube famous, is because they would have so many people. Well, they would get a story, and they would be the first one to do a video on the story and have the opinion on it. So they were in that race of like trying to be the number one person and keep on getting those views and keep on getting those walk-in customers that would subscribe to your channel. They're like, oh, look at this guy, man. He's kind of edgy. He's kind of innovative. He's kind of, doing things different and doing things that look cool, and I want to be a part of it. Those people used to be the top of relevancy. Nowadays, all you have is the ABC the alphabet media, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, CBS News, PBS, the BBC, Fox News, somewhere down there. They're lower. Just look it up. They're lower. When it comes to these damning evidence against the president, the Fox News is lower. But the first thing you see is just propaganda from MSNBC, and they're in cahoots with YouTube, and we'll get into that later. Because YouTube wants you to be watching them for your cable. They want to take over this cable market. They're Google. YouTube is Google. Google wants to rule the world. They're making advanced AI. They're all into that. They're buying up technologies, for spying and for algorithms and etc. They got the money behind it. And when they're in partnership with to try to take over, being the one that everybody in the world wants to view material from, because everybody does view material from there. When in our history could you look up a music video or look up any music video that's out or that's been out, that was old, that was made in the 70s, live performances? I mean, you used to have to like buy you would have to dub a tape of your friend that had it, and it'd be 1 in a million. There was so much that you never saw because it wasn't archived. But now it is in the year 2018, and it has been for a while. So they want you here. They make they're what they are because of people's eyes, people watching what is going on here. But they're at a point now where they can it used to be YouTube. You you were the creator. Now it's just the people they want and the type of material they want. let's see. What I was saying is the alphabet media. They're at the top of relevancy in all these this information. So they're putting out the propaganda, and we have a supposedly. I mean, it's not been proven that it was actually somebody in the administration or anybody. It could just be a psyop. These people are desperate to win the House of Representatives or the Congress and the Senate in the next election. They're desperate so they can impeach Trump because they're so mad that Trump got elected. They're so mad about it. I mean, people's lives are consumed with fuck Trump, fuck Trump. I mean, how many brain cells does it take to come up with that opinion on Donald Trump? Fuck Trump. These are the things you got to think about. Now, when it comes to someone in the White House saying that we are the resistance, we are trying to invoke the 25th Amendment for you, the people. But I voted for Donald Trump. And I didn't ask you to invoke the 25th Amendment. I didn't ask you to take documents off the president's desk. I didn't ask you to disobey orders of the commander-in-chief. I voted him in. And well, let's say this. People are upset because they say, well, Trump didn't win the popular vote. Okay. As a grown-up, you have to understand some things. And especially as a man. And when I hear men talking, they say this. I say, okay, well, what country do you live in? The answer is the United States. Okay. How does the United States elect a president? Well, this and that, and well, some off topic. I tell them no. How do we elect a president? Well, we're representative democracy or some shit like that, But the answer is, how do we elect a president? Is that people vote, and the states have so many votes within a state. Some states have more votes than others. Some states are more important because they have all the votes. It could sway the election one way or the other. And some states have to be won because of the Electoral College. We do not go by the popular vote. If you ask liberals now, they say, well, the Electoral College is outdated. I mean, I think if he would have won the popular vote and we went by the popular vote, you would be saying, well, remember we used to have an Electoral College. We used to have that thing, and this is unfair. So I mean, you win some, you lose some, but that's part of being in a representative democracy. One part of how the government runs and is set up through the Constitution. So my president, who was elected the way that we do in America, you're now telling me that somebody is taking it upon themselves that they are trying to remove him from office, invoking the 25th Amendment. I don't even know if they're even going about it the right way. And then they openly brag about it in an op-ed for a left leaning biased New York Times. I mean, liberals gobble this shit up. But in my opinion, I didn't elect that person. I didn't ask that person to try to be affecting the president to do his job to the best of his ability. I didn't ask him to do that. I asked as my vote and being a person that was involved in getting the man elected, for him to be elected for his 4 years, to enact the platform in which he went with and he made, and to do his damnedest to see it through. And I call it treason, just like the president did treason ? Mainstream media said, well, the president's tweeting treason today. Well, everybody, when he met with Putin, said that was treason because he didn't believe the intelligence apparatus. He didn't believe the intelligence agency. He believed Putin. Why would he believe Putin? These are two guys that speak like men. I don't know how Putin speaks, but I know how Trump speaks. I mean, he said they probably met up and they're like, listen, Donald, I don't even know why they even got to meet. They could just talk on the phone. I mean, whatever, conference call, become buddies like that. I mean, I meet a lot of people on the internet, become good friends with them. But he could have, the conversation could have been like, listen, Donald, was there any collusion between us? I mean, only you and I know. And there was no collusion. So why are you believing these people when they say that, whatever they say about him and Russia? And the mainstream media is outraged, like if there's somebody, and the propaganda that they're pushing is for you to be outraged, thinking that you're somebody, when your candidate didn't win, and God knows how the world would be if Hillary Clinton would have won. God knows what war we would be in, or what fucking battles or bullshit we would be in if Hillary Clinton got in. They were outraged. They were the CNN nonstop. Well, I would like to know what was said in those 2 hours where they met alone. Okay, who are you? You're Brooke Baldwin from fucking CNN? Who the fuck are you? You're fucking nobody. You're Anderson Cooper. You're a famous guy. You're a fucking millionaire, fucking gay dude. These people are millionaires, man. They get paid handsomely. They aren't you, the normal fucking everyday person. These people are on another level, and they have hubris. I mean, you should have seen Don Lemon during the I don't know, one of those Ferguson riots, or him reporting on that. He's a snob. These people are filthy rich. They're living the high life. And they hold no office. The only thing they are is an arm of a propaganda machine that I feel is an arm of the deep state New World Order, and that agenda of manipulating people in psychological warfare. And I don't like it. And I speak about it. And I will continue to speak about it. And I want you to hear what I have to say. Okay? So you've heard what I said, and we'll recap what I said. I feel whoever this person, if this person is someone high like Mike Pence or General Mattis, they should be. I don't know what the criminal penalty of saying you're the resistance of trying to get rid of a madman because he yells at his employees. I mean, what boss doesn't yell at his employees? Sometimes you do. I get yelled at work all the time. It's part of being a peon. It's part of being whatever, a subordinate. Doesn't make you a madman. But I think that person is treasonous. And I think other people that are involved in doing what he says he's doing, and I know there's meetings going on. There's meetings going on of like when we're gonna drop these books. Okay, so you're gonna drop your book on this day. Well, we're gonna publish this op-ed this next day. And these people are being approached. People like Omarosa. Hey, all we need you to do is go in there with the tape recorder. You get something, maybe we'll give you some money. The bitch needs money. The bitch wants to be in the high life, just like everybody else. But there's a possibility when it comes to having ulterior motives. But I think these people are treasonous. I'm not saying Omarosa. I think she is what she is. She's what known as the most evil person on reality television. She's always been a bitch, stuck up, full of herself. I don't think she's treasonous, but I think these people that are saying, well, we work for the president, and they're at the highest levels of the government, and we're trying to get this dude out, and we're doing things for the resistance, for you American people. Oh, they're patriots. They're patriots. I forget. I don't think they're patriots. I didn't ask them to do any of that. But if you don't believe me, then I want to play you this video. I'd like to play you this video. And I have to applaud Obama. Not everything that he says here is 100% what I believe in. But this is one of the best ways to sum up what's happening and how you should feel about it and how every American should feel about it, because there is a coup underway in the White House. And I don't know if many of you people know what happens in a coup. There's a winning side and there's a losing side. What happened in Turkey? They tried to kill that motherfucker. But there's definitely some real serious shit happening in the. It's beyond just the fake news. It's subversion. It's true subversion. So here's what Barack Obama has to say. And it's a 3-minute long video. We'll watch the whole thing, and I'll comment on everything he talks about, and hopefully we get back on track of what I'm trying to talk about. But I listened to what he had to say. I'd applaud the motherfucker. I can't stand Barack Obama, but he said it how it is. So here you go.
Got a lot of good Republican friends here in Illinois. But over the past few decades, the politics of division and resentment and paranoia has unfortunately found a home in the Republican Party. Republicans who know better in Congress, and they're there, they're quoted saying, yeah, we know this is kind of crazy, are still bending over backwards to shield this behavior from scrutiny or accountability or consequence. Seem utterly unwilling to find the backbone to safeguard the institutions that make our democracy work. And by the way, the claim that everything will turn out okay because there are people inside the White House who secretly aren't following the president's orders. That is not a check. I'm being serious here. That's not how our democracy is supposed to work. These people aren't elected. They're not accountable.
What did Barack Obama just say? Let's fucking repeat what this motherfucker just said. Let me get back to my window so I can look. Let's repeat what he said.
These people aren't elected.
These people aren't elected.
They aren't following the president's orders.
They aren't following the president's orders. He's the president.
That is not a check. I'm being serious here. That's not how our
people laughed. People laughed, but he had to say, I'm being serious here. I'm being serious here. This is serious. This is serious shit. Here it goes again.
Will turn out okay because there are people inside the White House who secretly aren't following the president's orders. That is not a check. I'm being serious here. That's not how our democracy is supposed to work. These people.
Barack Obama said this. Barack Obama said this. Fucked me up. Because you know why? Because I've been thinking this. This is what I've been thinking. This isn't how we're supposed to be. You don't cry to get your president out of office. The other side. He was elected by people like me who are citizens. And you must respect that. Because once you lose it one time, it'll be the norm. And more things like that will happen. We're going to watch that shit again. Notice how people laugh. What does he say? I'm being serious.
Democracy is supposed to work. These people aren't elected. It'll turn out okay because there are people inside the White House who secretly aren't following the president's orders. That is not a check. I'm being serious here. That's not how our democracy is supposed to work. These people aren't elected. They're not accountable. They're not doing us a service by actively promoting 90% of the crazy stuff that's coming out of this White House and then saying, don't worry, we're preventing the other 10%. That's not how things are supposed to work.
So there he goes back into politician mode, or the politics of things. I mean, this dude's campaigning for Democrats. The simplest way to describe what's happening. I mean, 90% of crazy stuff, 10% of crazy stuff. I mean, what does that mean? Trump's crazy? Trump's crazy because he wants to build a wall, because he put his terrorist state list together of banning people from terrorist states. That list was created by, this man. Those the cages of the kids that the detention centers, created by this man. Remember when Trump went to when he was running for president, he went to the border. He went to McAllen, Texas, and was talking to the Border Patrol. They said, yeah, this is what Barack Obama has in place. It's, we bought these old Walmarts, and everybody during Jade Helm was like, oh, they're making FEMA camps from the old Walmarts. What are y'all doing over there? This man did that. This is the truth. I do applaud what he said, though, because that is not the way we do things. And that reaffirms my belief that these people are treasonous. These people do not work for me and you. They work for themselves. And when what needs to happen is Donald Trump needs to get serious about investigating these fucking people. And when it's found out who it is, you find out who approached them. Is it really their personal beliefs that that Trump is out of control, or is it that they're being bought and sold by New World Order scum? We'll continue.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
So these are extraordinary times. It shouldn't be Democratic or Republican to say that we don't threaten the freedom of the press because they say things or publish stories we don't like.
Well, I mean, who's threatening the press? I mean, last I heard is it's people that are independent journalists who are the people that are being threatened. Alex Jones is no longer on YouTube. You know, and he has an app. He has an app of like, hey, you can listen to my podcast or you can listen to my show. The same thing that would be published on YouTube on his app. But the thing about Alex Jones is like, I believe maybe 30 to 40% of what he says. So I don't want to watch a fucking 2.5 hour podcast, 3.5 hour radio show and be inundated with pill cells and stuff like that. I when Alex Jones was on YouTube, I would just watch his I would watch the videos I wanted to see, because some of them were funny, some of them were real. You know, when they would go and confront protesters and stuff like that, that stuff was funny, man. I mean, just grade A trolling in real life. I mean, it was the best stuff, and that ultimately that's what got him banned off Twitter. But we'll get into that later. But nobody's threatening mainstream journalists. CNN, MSNBC. There's something. I would say people that watch that stuff, there's some type of dopamine that's released when they hear news about Donald Trump and the scandal that they're creating the narrative for. And if you were to hook some of these people up that are so radical against Trump, you know, that are Antifa and whatever, I mean, they probably have those news stations in the background all day because they end up parroting everything they say and they never have an original thought. But I would say there's probably some type of dopamine release when they listen to this shit. You know, and to me, I can't grasp at all how a 24-hour news cycle can be devoted to every claim that you can possibly make of about Donald Trump, you know, not being fit for being the president, that he's a illegitimate president, that, you know, he affected the election because he paid to have some woman, you know, he paid some woman to be silent. And, you know, everything that they accuse him of. And this is on repeat for 24 hours a day. And you'll have Trump trying to hold a major, you know, news conference to show the people, hey, I'm working for you. I got the Japanese president here. We're talking about whatever they talk about. We got the Chinese president. We're talking about stuff. You know, we're trying to build a friendship. We're trying to build agreements for the betterment of the American people. And in the middle of all that, you'll have CNN nonstop. But Mr. Trump, what do you think about the release of the Cohen tapes? What does that do to you? And is that an admission of guilt on your end through that tape? And even though it's like it's just like when I said that. Who are these people? They're nobody. Donald, like when they were saying, "Oh well, I want to know what was being said in that 2-hour long meeting with Vladimir Putin when it was only him and Vladimir Putin." It's like, you don't get to see that shit. Who the fuck are you? You're not the president, and he doesn't owe you any fucking explanations. Because what he's talking about could be in importance of national security and clearance. That's why you don't have clearance. That's why there's clearance. Because you don't hold any office. There's a chain of command of what you can see. You don't hold no clearance. You're just a fucking guy on CNN. Nobody, and when he's trying to hold these conferences, and about NAFTA and stuff, and the CNN reporter is like hounding him. At one point in time, or a logical person is going to say, "Hey, if you can't behave yourself," because we're not talking about the Michael Cohen tapes, we're not talking about Stormy Daniels, we're not talking about the op-ed where somebody's saying this. He doesn't like you. President Trump doesn't like CNN. He calls them fake news. Same with MSNBC. He's not beholden to you. And if you can't behave, you need to get the fuck out. It doesn't endanger the free press. What's endangering the free press is YouTube. It started with the adpocalypse where they took away a way for people that do real investigations into things where it's non-biased. And I'll give you, for instance, you'll see on my blog, I put on there that, the Amazing Atheist put up a video saying, what's with all this coverage about Trump? You watch a late night TV show and it's all about Trump instead of about telling jokes. The president likes to eat McDonald's. Well, I don't think he's fit for duty because he eats McDonald's a lot. Donald Trump has 12 Diet Cokes in a day. Oh, nope, can't be the president. They literally have stories about like this, dude. And that's where people get information from. They don't get information from CNN. Nobody wants to hear that shit. And if they do, they do. That's okay. But this whole 24 hours of news coverage of the president is stupid. It's for dumb people. It's dumb. It's retarded. Continue.
I complained plenty about Fox News. But you never heard me threaten to shut them down or call them enemies of the people. It shouldn't be Democratic or Republican to say we don't target certain groups of people based on what they look like or how they pray. We are Americans. We're supposed to stand up to bullies, not follow them.
I don't think anybody said said to shut down CNN or MSNBC. I mean, I don't think that's. I mean, I kind of believe we should. If these people can't get with the program of this of there's not one good thing that Trump did. Last I seen that unemployment was down a whole shitload, like record lows. And I saw a tweet where it said CNN reporter is gonna explain why this is, and it's basically gonna be, well, it's not anything Trump did. It's all because of the things Obama did, which I don't fucking know. I'm not an economist, but I don't believe that shit automatically. I'd have to go look into it. And as far as we stand up to the bullies and stuff like that. I mean, most of liberals, Bill Maher and Sam Harris. I mean, they're hardcore believe that Islamists or Muslims, that no matter if they're moderate Muslims or whatever type of Muslim, they all, their belief is that they're deep down sympathizers for terrorism. That's their beliefs, and I mean, you got Barack Obama, who's on the same side of them, shilling for Hillary and shilling for this, this pussy, crybaby type of culture that we're leading to, man.
We're supposed to stand up to discrimination. And we're sure as heck supposed to stand up clearly and unequivocally to Nazi sympathizers. How hard can that be, saying that Nazis are bad?
Sorry about that. I don't know why it's auto playing. Let's see if we can get that to stop. Hold on one second. See if we can get that to stop. I hate that autoplay bullshit. Barack Obama said it, man. We'll go back to that. This is not the way. That's not normal. So, I want to watch this video. I have not watched it. It's Trump saying that he fell asleep during Obama's speech, the same speech we just watched. But this should be interesting. Let's see what he has to say.
What do you think of President Obama's speech? And I said, I'm sorry, I watched it, but I fell asleep. I found he's very good for sleeping. I think he was trying to take some credit. He was trying to take credit for this incredible thing that's happening to our country. If the Democrats got in, I have to say this to President Obama, and it wasn't him, but would have been the same thing. If the Democrats got in with their agenda in November of almost 2 years ago, instead of having 4.2 up, I believe, honestly, you'd have 4.2 down. You'd be negative. You'd be in negative numbers right now. You'd be in negative numbers. We were heading south, and you look at those bad numbers that were there in the last couple of years, it was this way and going in the wrong direction. It was the weakest recovery in the history of our country since, I guess, to be totally specific, because I'm not sure they've gone any further, since the Great Depression in the 20s. It was the weakest recovery we've ever had. It was barely a recovery. And now this is called, not recovery, this is called rocket ship, what's happened.
Man, that guy just sounds like he's, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how, with all this going on and the threats that people make against him, I mean, I don't know how he does it. But this man, Donald Trump, has leveled up. Donald Trump is like, in a video game where you've leveled up, you've gone up another thing. This guy's in his element right now. I mean, and it's only a year and a half, and just see, I mean, how comfortable he is, and by the end of his 8 years, this man's going to go down as 20 years from now, people are going to say Donald Trump was one of the best presidents that ever, that's in a long time, is in the top of all the presidents. So that's where I'm at with that. Dude's funny, man. Says it how it is, man. Says it how it is. So let's see. I got a couple ideas. I don't know which one I should start with. I have this theory. Okay, so we're gonna go to the president's Twitter, right? I'll see the president's Twitter. I don't know how clear that is, but hopefully it's clear. Okay, so there was a lawsuit that says that Donald Trump, since he's the president of the United States, he can't block people, trolls. He can't block annoying people, the people that are going to ruin every chance of trying to fix the problems with this blacklisting and shadow banning of independent thinking people, because you'll have to like, I don't know, you're just going to cause, if the government has to step in, you're going to have to use you can't be anonymous. And Twitter is just rampant with bots and fake accounts. You can buy accounts, and I mean, it's just rampant. So with this past election, they say these bots and all these accounts that were just reminding people of Hillary Clinton's criminal activity, and making sure, targeting people to get that to imprint into their mind that Hillary Clinton is a criminal. They call that hacking the election. They say that Russia created bots to do that, and that's hacking the election, and that's a threat to national security, which I don't consider that hacking the election. I think that's just reminding people of Hillary Clinton's criminal activity. So we'll just go through some of these tweets. We'll go through, see where we'll find that. Okay, let's see. No, we won't do that one. Okay, the Woodward book is a scam. I don't talk. Shit. The Woodward book is a scam. I don't talk that way. I'm quoted. If I did, I would not have been elected president. These quotes are made up. The author uses every trick in the book to demean and belittle. I wish the people could see the real facts, and our country is doing great. So we have 49K replies. Okay, here's the book. Okay, as if you ever read a book. Witty by Nate Iger. Verified. Let's see what he does. He's a verified account. What does this guy do? Very, well, he has pornography. Got to get rid of that. Let's see. He got the coloring book version. See this. My basic opinion on this is that there are a lot of accounts. I see like a lot of these accounts that are, they look like they're fake accounts. They just look like all they do all day is follow Trump just to belittle him. This guy looks real. We can't say he's a fake. Uh-oh. Let's go back. Let's go to the treason one. Where's that treason tweet? September 5th. He had a tweet today where it just said treason question mark. Maybe he deleted that shit. What is Nike thinking? Let's go back to this one. Okay, I am thoroughly disgusted reading the disrespectful comments from the Trump haters. You should all be ashamed of yourself. That's good. It's true. Oh, here's this guy. What do you mean? Your opinion? Unwrap, lubricate. Troll account. He has SpongeBob and Skeletor. Great. Then why are you worried about it? Ignoring it would be more prudent thing to do. Foe. 0 followers, 3 tweets, 7 following. That's a fake account. 3 tweets. I mean, come on, man. Doesn't even have a profile picture. You need to speak in simpler terms. Trump doesn't understand prudent. See private. That's a dog. CNN watcher. This is not really well, she's definitely just going off on. See, I mean, who tweets all day about politics, dude? You know, here's a meme. I mean, again, the Hitler thing, had parades for himself. Yeah, I've heard that shit before. That's not an original thought. It's just something people parrot. All this is, Trump hating BS. Another person consumed with Donald Trump. God dog it. They're just consumed with this man. Let's see. You are a traitor and mentally unfit to be POTUS. Treason, Trump. Whatever. 25th Amendment. See, another person. They're in favor of. Barack Obama said, that's not normal. This lady's in favor of it. Let's see what she does all day. She has 74. Oh, she's an author. She's a feminine, collective, unfiltered, selective relationships. Blah 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 blah. Just consumed with Trump. See what this? Brett Kavanaugh. Just all day political bullshit. How do I go back? What is she talking about? InfoWars. Apple just permanently banned InfoWars. Okay, cool. Let's go back. Oh, dog it. Well, what I'm trying to prove here is that I started watching these people that respond to Donald Trump, and I noticed a pattern of it's mostly haters. I mean, let's see, out of this one lady, she posted about Trump haters, and then the haters just started piling on. These are all people Trump can't ban because a court ruled that he's a public figure, he's the president, and that they have to be able to talk to him. These are people replying to the president of the United States. I mean, I know it's satire, but let's ask this question. If Twitter can ban if the social media people have the idea that their private corporations, they can develop whatever terms of service they have, then why, and the only time that the government intervened was when it was against Trump. They can't intervene when it's it would favor Alex Jones, who has 2.4 million subscribers that listen to him on a daily basis, which that's someone's livelihood. There is a monopoly on video sharing services where people, I don't know, it's a phenomenon. YouTube, I mean, it's programmed into your phone already. When you buy a new phone, it's programmed in your phone. You just enter in your email and it'll pop up, and all your subscriptions and everything, it's there. It's incorporated into all electronics. Yet he's banned from there, and you can't see him no more. I mean, I don't get to see those one or two videos that I'm interested in watching because he's not there no more, and I kind of forgot about him. I forget about him because I don't want to listen to 3 hours of crazy talk. I like my bits and pieces where I choose what I want to see of Alex Jones, and he provides that for me when he was on YouTube through his clips. I don't want to see a 3-hour video, but like I said, they're a private corporation until it comes to our president. So let's name what our president can't do. Our president can't ban people from Twitter. Our president can't I guess I didn't change the title. Our president can't have attorney-client privilege. Our president can't have that's what I'm getting at is even the president can't have these things. So what makes you think that you can have them? What makes you think that this can't be turned up against you? Do you think you're special? Do you think you're special? That it can't happen to you? I gotta do something real quick. Podcast. What? Damn. Messed up. Anyways, we'll keep on going. We're going to get into the Alex Jones video. Talking about Alex Jones. Let's see. So, Alex Jones, let's start from the beginning. Alex Jones was on this whole tangent about Apple and China working together for something. I didn't really pay attention, but I knew he kept on talking about it for a while. That Apple and China were in cahoots, and I believe it's because they're making their, China has its own, prison state, where people are, they don't have human rights like Americans do. Excuse me. Anyways, so Alex Jones started talking about that. So we can say that we can theorize that it started with Apple. Apple didn't like what he was saying, so they started the ball. They put out the feels because people are having meetings with each other because they want to win this next election, and they're trying to formulate how they could do it. And one thing you could do is by taking out all people that are not putting out the information that the status quo is putting out. So Apple goes and they contact Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, like, hey, we're going to be banning Alex Jones. He's talking about, talking bad stuff about us. I mean, we'd like y'all to join a united front. Spotify, Facebook, iTunes, Apple, whatever else he was kicked off of. The major Facebook too. All the major players in social media in one day, starting with Apple, deplatform him, erase him from existence because supposedly he violated various terms of service. So Alex Jones, he brilliantly is fighting back when he confronted Marco Rubio. And then he confronted this man, who I don't know who he is, but the exchange is pretty funny. Now, the reason why I'm going to play this video is because this is supposedly the reason why Alex Jones was terminated from Twitter. And what Alex Jones was doing was attending a court hearing with the CEO of Twitter to talk about their bias, them being biased against, their whatever they were talking about. So here's Alex Jones. This is what got him banned right here.
Look at this right here. The guy that goes around policing and calling for censorship and then claims that Trump's wrong, there's no censorship of conservatives or patriots. You are incredibly shameful.
How are you doing, Alex?
You're just look at you. You are literally an anti-American, anti-free speech coward. You're going to go down the history books at the Criminal News Network. This is one of the main people right here who thinks you have no memory, who sits there and lobbies. Show him. That sits there and lobbies people to take other news off, claiming they're fake when CNN is the fakest WMD, Gulf Arab state dictatorship funded. Unbelievable. Hey, come on over here, Drew. I want to get this down too. This is unbelievable. I was literally saying I don't see the Criminal News Network here, but indeed we do. They're right there at the front of the line at the trough to try to get in there and try to shut down conservative libertarian speech. And of course it comes from the loins of Glenn Beck, the king. I mean, look at those eyes, folks. If you want to see the eyes of a rat, no, seriously, just look, look at the camera. Look at those eyes. Look at that slobbering to the system and the criminals at CNN, all their warmongering and death, all their fake news, and then running around trying to police the internet and try to shut people down. And then you think people are so stupid. On CNN a week later you say no one's censoring anybody, no one's pushing for censoring, and then you say that Trump is the one attacking the press when all he does is stand up to your lies. Just look at this guy's eyes, man. That is who will rule your life. Him and people like Stelter. That is who want to look at that smile.
Alex,
I mean, just think about this. I mean, Alex Jones has been deplatformed. He's been erased. And my personal, how I'm dealing with it is like, I kind of don't even think about Alex Jones anymore. I mean, I've unsubscribed to Alex Jones many times because it was like, oh, this dude's crazy. But then I come back because I get a suggested video where it's like, man, I seen that, and you're talking about and you're reporting on it, and of course he's upset. Everybody should be upset because ultimately this has to do with people like myself who are just ranting and other people that are smarter than me that are actually like putting in real research, and real hours of their time to inform people. and with not with misinformation, with real information that you should be worried about, that you should care about. Alex Jones is just one person that had a lot of subscribers. I mean, I'm not saying everything Alex Jones puts out is quality, but there are definitely stories he does that he knows information, and he's sometimes one of the first people to get out that information. And he's being deplatformed. And because he went and confronted this man and posted it on Twitter, he is now banned. Forever. Erased. And we want to say that this is non-biased. They said that he threatened the man, that he was confronted somebody. Okay, we'll listen to a little more, and then I got a little surprise for y'all. Okay, and you try to see what I'm saying here. Oop. There we go.
So I've known Oliver quite a long time. Good to see you again, Oliver. Good to see you, Chuck. Good to see you. He's from Fresno, and he knows better. Because, in Fresno, we actually believe in free speech. And here he is censoring people and doing organized
policing it. He's the thought police. That is the thought police.
Beforehand, he worked for Dragnet. And of course, I and many other people in the conservative movement helped this guy.
Look how scared this fucker
now
is.
He's decided that now that he works for CNN,
a little
he's going to go and try and shut down voices.
Look, I mean, he's even more evil looking in person.
Something to think about the decisions that you made.
Seriously, you don't even respond because we're just scum. You sit up there at CNN with no viewers, no followers. Everyone can't stand you. And no matter, you can shut everyone down on earth. No one will like you. You understand that? You'll never have millions and millions of fans and followers. You'll never have people that love you.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say, Alex?
You are a dishonorable liar who would never even dare have me on your little tiny shows when you and Stelter call me a virus. You are a virus to America and freedom. You are authoritarianism. Just look in those eyes. The hunger to silence America, the hunger to extinguish the First Amendment, the hunger to deceive, but he can't do it because the fire of liberty is not going to be knocked out. And I want you to know I'm starting to come up here a lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
That's good.
Just so you know.
Always good to see you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, no, you don't talk back to mere slaves. You just act calling everybody's sponsors to get them to dump you, working with Media Matters and the Nazi collaborator George Soros.
All right. So this is to be shown as abusive and whatever, violates terms of service because he confronted a man in a threatening manner, as they say. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, I was already on some anti-Trump guy's page and, nudity was there. Twitter, you can pretty much post anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in hashtag hood fights. Okay? And why I'm doing this, and this is an original thought I had. I wanted to do this to highlight, okay, Alex Jones was banned because he was a threat. He was threatening. He confronted somebody, recorded it, and was threatening. But what is this here? We'll go to hood fights and then videos. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. What does it say? Fights, hood fights, school fights. So when they say school, here's Trump. Hashtag Trump's in there. When they say school fights, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
You just said you want to fight me. You I'm not going to do what you touch me.
Are these minors? Are these minors here? These are minors, right? And there are like laws against things with minors. Why isn't this? That wasn't that bad. Let's see what else we can do. people beating the shit out of each other. Why isn't Hand Dog? Why isn't Hand Dog 55 banned? Why isn't Hand Dog banned? This guy. Look at these dudes. Look at those guys. Hood fights. These are guys that actually got to fighting. Why isn't hood fights here banned? More hood fights. Oh, this is all the same person here. Let's see if there's any other users. Oh, here we go. Something to laugh at. This guy. It looks like he's getting confronted. Boom! Violence. True violence. Let's go back to Alex Jones. This is a confrontation. Yeah, it's a confrontation, but is it a violent
smiling
confrontation?
Like a possum that climbed out of the rear end of a dead cow.
You used that one several times.
That's what you look like.
You need to come up with some.
You look like a possum that got caught doing some really nasty stuff, in my view. You're a public figure too. If I go to Twitter and say, he's bullying me, I'm only trying to deplatform him everywhere and celebrating it, and then insulting my viewers a week later saying no one's doing it. How dumb do you think your viewers are? You think they have no memory like Dari?
Let's go to the end of the video.
So you can't respond. All you do is deceive. Your job is to be a
That's what
disruptor.
I respond to.
See what he got.
That was very, very, very satisfying. Okay, let's go over here for a minute.
Let's see what else happens here. I don't see no violence. I don't see no violence in the like hood fights. Hashtag lots of other accounts that.
If I say nose rings are sign of white supremacy, I want it banned. I say ban Jack Darcy, and I say ban.
He's such a troll, Alex Jones. He's the greatest troll to ever live. Anyways, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, man? Where my leave go? There we go. This is the type of stuff I'm trying to get across to people. I'm tired of the I'm just tired of a lot, man. Tired of a lot. Tired of the manipulation of the masses. I'm tired of people not realizing that they're on the wrong side of history here. Oh, that's another thing. What the president can't have. He can't have a Twitter that he can do whatever he wants and ban whoever he wants. He can't have attorney-client privilege, and he can't have innocence until proven guilty. All the things that every American citizen would cry and complain about. If it was happening to them, they'd be like, I have rights. Yet the president of the United States can't have no rights. And that's where we're at in this day and age. And it's truly sad. Truly sad. My name is DJ Olympus Mons, or Olympus Mons. Once again, the greatest thing you can do for me is to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We have other links down below, but the main form here is to get this YouTube channel going. You can go to theabovelimitspodcast.com to get all your needs there. There's a link, and there's also a link in the description to the NWO UFO chat room on Tiny Chat if you'd like to come join the conversation with other people that I interact with, where we discuss these things, conspiracy, politics, philosophical discussions. Some of the best philosophical discussions I've ever had has been in that room. It can get heated sometimes. It can Be light. It's not always that serious. Great community of people to know. I'm gonna figure out how other people can blog on my my website. Once I look into that, maybe we can, if you want to become friends with me, all my email information there. We could talk and privately and formulate and try to have a discussion individually and build some type of bond to bring your ideas forward. If I feel like we mesh and have good chemistry, definitely want to branch out and do bigger things. You can I don't give a shit about thumbsing up, thumbsing down the video. Just watch my videos, continue to watch, continue to try to understand what I am trying to accomplish here. I am trying to educate the masses on this psyop that we are living in today. So my name is Olympus Mons. I appreciate each and every one of you, and also my buddy Sin, who was my co-host in heaven. I love that man, and thank you for listening.